Hello, my name is Renee, and I'm going to talk about my father's illness. In 2010, March, he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And so he lived in Arkansas. I lived in Missouri. I decided to bring him up to Missouri to be closer to me. And I put him in a nursing home. I got him into an apartment. The first night we were in the apartment, he was sleeping with a loaded gun with the safety off. It fell out of his little pouch, and he was sitting on it, which it could have gone off at any time. Well, I picked it up and put it on the dresser, which once again, it could have gone off at any time. He grabbed it, put it back in his pouch. Well, that totally freaked me out. So I talked to my husband. I was like, we have got to move him back home with us. We have got to be able to take care of him. So we moved him in for one night anyway. He was in a wheelchair. He had no legs. So we knocked out our bathroom door or wall to make it wider. Well, that night, in the middle of the night, he started screaming because it was dark. And he started gagging, and I didn't know what to do. So I called an ambulance. They took him to the hospital, where he started going just crazy. They took away his wheelchair. He started crawling down the hall on his bottom because he had no legs. The psychiatrist or psychologist, recommended a nursing home. That was the furthest from my mind, but I didn't know what else to do. So I put him in a nursing home. He fought. He said some horrible things. After 6 months, things started getting really bad. He's starting to talk to me in the third person like I wasn't there. He told me I looked good for a 71, and that he didn't know he had a 71-year-old daughter, which I was only 37. He could not remember my mother, whom he was with for 25 years. He kept referring to me as his sister. You know, he was so confused. He didn't know where he was. He kept asking me how old he was. It was the most heartbreaking thing I'd ever seen and experienced in my entire life. In April of 28th, 2011, I got a phone call from the nursing home saying they were doing CPR because he wasn't breathing. And what hospital do I want to send him to? So I told them, and I rushed to the hospital. And I waited. And I waited. And I waited. And so I finally went inside and asked if there was another emergency room exit. They had a note for me to call the nursing home. I called the nursing home. They told me my dad died. I totally broke down right there in the middle of the emergency room. That was April 28th. I ended up burying him on my birthday, May 2nd. He was a Korean War vet. He served our country. We had a military funeral, 21 gun salute. I got the flag. Of course, when they gave me the flag, I totally lost it. They had to take it back to put it in the bag, and I didn't want them to. It's been a year since he died, and I still have issues with his death. In January 2011, just a few months before he died, he was actually also diagnosed with dementia. Alzheimer's and dementia are terrible, terrible diseases. Not only for the person going through the disease, but the family as well. In making a decision to put them in the nursing home, I swore I would never do that. I was going to take care of him, but I couldn't. I had a full-time job. He needed somebody 24 hours a day. I was so afraid he would catch the house on fire because he would forget. You know, he couldn't remember. I mean, he kept asking me if I remembered when he was 5 years old. How could I do that? He was 41 years older than me. So anyway, this is a video about somebody who has lived through a family member with Alzheimer's and dementia. It's horrible. Horrible, I tell you. We need to find a cure for them both. Thank you.